Hello everyone, I am Vladimir. Welcome to geonodes daily series where we do something cool in geometry nodes in 5 minutes or less. Today we are going to do this cool spinning animation for each individual letter using the new text nodes from geometry nodes. And before we start, I want to quickly tell you how we are going to do this. We're gonna make every letter appears one by one, like we did in the typing effect. Then we are going to isolate the last letter, and then we are going to apply a rotation to it and do everything procedurally. So ready, go, let's start. Okay, so first we are going to need a string node. Then we are going to need a string substring, and also we are going to need string to curves, and in order to see the text we are going to use a curve fill. Select everything and then press F to connect, and we are not going to see anything first because we need a text here. So let's type Blender, and now the length of this node controls the effect. So it's good we are in the top view. This is the base of our effect. So let's do first the letter by letter appearing. We are going to need a value node. One will be the frame, and the other one will be the time we need for each letter to appear. And once we have this, let's go to utilities, get a math node, and we are going to multiply this number of letters by the string length, and we get the string length from this node string length. So let's connect that here, and that will be the time it will take for the entire text to appear. So once we have this, let's add another math node and switch it to ping pong because we want to go back, and we are going to push the frame through here, and this will be the time it will take for this animation to take place. Let's move everything a little bit here, and now we are going to need another map node. We're going to switch it to snap. We want to build an increment, so let's take the frame rate that is piped through ping pong, and we want to snap at this value. We defined it for every letter, and then in order to get the value of 1, we have to divide this value by the same number. Okay, so now here we have the +1 increment, and this one, if we pipe it here in the length of the text, we get the letters to appear as the time frame passes. So let's quickly duplicate these two nodes. These will be the ones that we will use to isolate the last letter, and we will also need the geometry join to join these two geometries together. So let's join this one with this one, and now we will pipe the output through here. So now we get the last letter. So we will need a length of 1 because we want to isolate only one letter. So let's push the frame rate a little bit here, and this value position will be the letter we want to isolate. As you can see, it's going to be on top of the first letter, so we are going to need a geometry bounding box to take the position from this first part, and then we will going to need from vector a separate and a combine nodes. So let's take the maximum from here. We can select all three of them and press F and just switch this output here, and this part that we did here, we are going to use it to move the letter. So let's take this one and plug it here, and now sure enough we get the letter here, and that will be the basis of our effect. in order to make this part procedurally, we will first need to pipe this to the position. Okay, and now as we pass the text, we get the last letter there, and the last letter can be controlled by using the rotation. And in order to change the pivot point to make it rotate from the center, we change this from baseline to middle, and now we can control the rotation from here. And there is something else we want to do. We want to make this procedurally. So let's quickly take this ping pong node and switch it to Modulo. Okay, and this will be the, we'll use this as the time for the rotation. And we want this Modulo to be controlled by the output from this main loop, the ping pong, and the value that we want to pass here is gonna be the value we defined it for one letter appear timing, and this value we can now pass through a utilities map range. So let's put this one here. This will be our first frame, and we want the output to be rotated by 360 degrees. So that will be in radians, so tau for a full circle. And then we want to take this and duplicate it. Don't worry, this node disappeared. Press home to see the whole screen. And we want to rotate the x-axis, plug this into the rotation. And now if we play the animation, nothing happens because we have to define the frame range here. So let's quickly define that. And we want this animation to end when the letter appears. So here, and we want to start it at what frame? Let's put it at frame 1. And now if we play the animation, we get this. And what's left to do here? A few things. Let's add a solidify node that will give some thickness to our text so you can better see it. We also want to add a material. It's not necessarily to be on this object, can be on any object, because in order to see it in geometry nodes, we have to use a material assign node and select that material. And sure enough, if we give this a color to see it and we switch to material view, okay, our material, it's now controlled for this. I've passed some ideas from this project. I'm gonna post on Twitter and I'll also post on the YouTube comment section. I'm gonna post the link to that Twitter where I'll put the screenshots from this project, where you will have a cleanup node tree and a few other goodies inside of it. So make sure to check that. And until then, do cool stuff in Blender.